Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, to the second annual Wyoming Ladies of Iron. Your meet director, Maggie Jones, just made her introduction.
Amanda, you want to introduce referees and
And before we get started, we'll introduce the folks that will be on the platform today.
Great. Good morning, ladies and I. This is our second one in a row. So thank you for joining us this beautiful morning. Because you're finding your seats and you're comfortable. And I think we're actually going to be standing for the national anthem here.
Yep.
You ready to go?
Yep.
Okay, please join us. I'm not singing it either. You're welcome.
Those of you at home, please show respect for the national anthem. All right. Thank you all for joining us this morning here in sunny Evanston, Wyoming. First up on the bar, we have Celia Williams in the women's Raw Master class, opening with a 25-kilo squat. As you can see, we have ladies of all ages, shapes, and sizes, and pigtails are in abundance today. So our first lifter, as you see here, is Celia Williams in the 67.5-kilo class in Women's Raw Master 3, meaning she is between the ages of 60 and 69 years old. She's been lifting barbells since January 2023, kettlebells since June of 2022, and last year's Ladies of Iron was her first meet. Looking forward to seeing what kind of numbers she can put up today. And the bar is loaded for Celia. So 25 kilograms. Our bar on the rack there is 20 kilograms, and each of the two collars weighs 2.5 kilos each for a total of 25 kilos. Now, a kilogram, for those of you who have never paid attention to international units of measure, is 2.2 pounds. So this is just over 50 pounds she's squatting. All right. She's got the start command, the rack command, and that is a good lift. She hit depth, and the judges liked it. Next up, we have Patricia Cooper in the Women's Raw Master 2 class. That's 50 to 59. She's in the 52-kilo class. she is opening with 37.5 kilos. Bar is loaded for Patricia. Let's see what she can do. So for those of you who are new to the sport, you can see the chief referee has her hand in the air, and so do the side referees. And then the hand goes down, and you hear the squat command. So the two side referees are looking to make sure that the lifter's knees are locked. She's in an upright position. She's standing still and prepared to squat. Once those two side referees' hands go down, then the chief referee gives the squat command, the first of two commands in the squat. The lifter will then take the bar down to a level at which the hip crease passes below the top surface of the knee. That's what we call depth in powerlifting. Oh, she's got a very high rack height there. I don't know if that's correct. So Anna Camila Little. They're going to lower that bar for her, I think. So Anna's been lifting for just over a year, about a year and a month. Ladies of Iron was her first meet last year as well. So her best, and we had the wrong lifter. This is Anna. That looks like depth to me. And we've got 3 white lights. That's a good lift. So Camila's best squat is 52.5 kilos, which is just over 115 pounds. So given how easy that 45 kilo squat moved, we might see a PR on the platform today. And up next, we have Carrera Erickson. So she's been lifting since she was 7. 7 years old. Now, in the rules for USA Powerlifting, you can't compete on the platform until you're 8 years old. And so she is just barely. She got started as early as possible. So she stepped back. Let's see what the judges are going to say. All right, hands are down, squat command. Ooh, she's right on depth there. She's been practicing. Let's see what the judges say. 3 white lights. It looked good to the judges. So an interesting thing about today's competition that you might have noticed is that all the competitors, if you take a look at lifting cast, all the competitors are women. Ladies of Iron, of course, might have tipped you off, but not just the competitors. Every single volunteer, except for yours truly, is female. This is a 100% Ladies of Iron meet. Let's see, what do we got going on here? I have some comments from the judge. So today we have 2 different angles. We've got the side angle here as well. And I'll turn that mic off for you. All right, bar is loaded for Randy. So this side angle gives you a great perspective on the depth of the squat. All right, she's got the start command. All right. So now in that case, looking from the referee's perspective, there might have been an arm in the way. It's a little bit tough to see depth on that. Tough to see if the hip crease passed below the top surface of the knee. Now, in that case, as a referee myself and my lovely wife Rachel sitting there in the side chair, we're looking for the hip crease to pass below the top surface of the knee. But if we don't see that, then it is mandated by the rules that we give the lifter the benefit of the doubt. And so in this case, whether she saw or not, if she didn't see, then she has to assume that the lifter hit depth. Now, it did look to me like the lifter hit depth. That looked a teensy bit high there for Kristen Atkinson. We'll see. The judges don't agree with me, and that's okay. I'm at a slightly higher angle. Let's switch back to our main view here. All right. And like I said, the volunteers in this meet are 100% female, except for, of course, me. Although I can do my best to imitate, I can't quite reach that. But our spotters and loaders practiced beforehand. I got the unique opportunity to watch them warming up, the pit crew warming up, if you will, and they are doing a great job as well. Bar is loaded for Reagan Smith. Let's see what she does. So we're in this first flight, Flight A and Flight B. There's just 2 flights of lifters today. So it's going to be a relatively short powerlifting meet. All right, arms are down. She's got the squat command. Ooh, that was a nice quick squat. That's what an opener should look like. So 3 white lights. That's excellent. So Reagan's got she's got a PR of 104.3 kilos. We'll see what she does with that. We're making a pretty big jump here for Ashley Klein. Ashley Klein's taken 125 kilos for her opener. She's in the 75 kilo teen 3 class, so she's 18 or 19 years old. And if you take a look at our overlay there, she's actually projected to come in first place. We'll see if that happens. So Ashley's been lifting for only a year and a half. Her first meet was also last year's Ladies of Iron. She is an assistant coach at 307 Strength Youth Barbell Club, which is our sponsor for today. I don't know if you can see. So 307 Strength, Maggie Jones is the director for this meet. Oh, nice solid walk out there. She gets that down command. Oh, she's done this before. Exactly what an opener should look like. So Ashley Klein is a self-identified gym rat, and I can see why. So, for those of you who are just joining us who may not be as familiar with the sport of powerlifting, we're in the first of 3 disciplines. So, there's the squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. And since we're watching the squat and we're now into our second attempts, starting off with Celia Williams here, I'll explain the rules a little bit. So, in the squat, there are 2 commands. So, the lifter approaches the bar. She's got 2 white lights on that, so that's a good lift for Celia. There are 2 commands, squat and rack. So the lifter stands under the bar and they take it out of the rack and take a step back and stand at the ready. Now, at the ready, for the purposes of the squat, means that the lifter has their knees locked, their hips locked, they're standing upright, and they're not moving, and their feet are not moving. So, once the side judges, as I mentioned earlier, see that the lifter is in the ready position, they will lower their hands and the chief referee will give the squat command. So she just got that squat command. Ooh, that was quick for Patricia Cooper on that 42.5 kilo lift. Let's see. What do the judges say? I think she got a good lift. I that went by so fast I couldn't even see it. Next up, we have Anna Camila Little, again with 50 kilos. That's a 10 kilo jump, or excuse me, a 5 kilo jump between her opener and her second attempt. So getting back to the performance of the squat, so once you receive the squat command, you squat down until as I've now mentioned a few times now, the hip crease passes below the top surface of the knee, and then you stand back up and get back into the ready position, if you will, or the top and completed position. After the judges see that you have completed the lift, you're upright, you're not moving, you will receive the rack command. Ooh, she's got a deep squat. Anna, Goodness gracious, 50 kilos, 3 white lights. Oh man, we might see a PR out of her today. So her best squat is 52.5 kilos. So that's just 2.5 kilos over what she just did. It didn't look like she struggled with it at all. So, all right, we're starting to warm up a little bit more here. Moving forward with Carrera Erickson in the 40 kilo class. She's taken a 5 kilo jump as well to 55 kilos. Bar is loaded for Carrera. Like I said, she's been lifting since she was 7 years old. I love what she's done with her hair, matched it to her singlet. Little known fact about powerlifting, fashion is a huge part of it. So once the judges give the rack command, the spotters will then assist the lifter to put the weight back into the rack. At which point the judges determine whether or not the lifter executed the lift correctly and give either a white light, which is good lift, or a red light, which is a no lift. There are a few reasons why a referee might give a no lift, and I'll get into those in a moment. So we have Randy on the platform here, 67.5 kilo class, almost her body weight here with 62.5 kilos. And this matches her current best squat. And goodness gracious, she blew that absolutely out of the water. That is her best squat, ladies and gentlemen. She just smoked that. Goodness gracious. All right. Now we have Kristen Atkinson up. She's taking 65 kilos for her second attempt. Now, you've heard me say opener and second attempt. So each lifter has 3 attempts at each lift. So 3 disciplines, 3 attempts for a total of 9 lifts each day. Now, this does not count the lifts that they're doing back in the warm-up space, but no one governs that. All we see is what they do on the platform. So Kristen walking that out. Oh, very carefully finding depth there. Let's see what the judges say. 3 white lights. That's a good lift. So Kristen has a personal best of 65 kilos. So I think we might see a PR out of her as well. So she's been lifting for only 5 months. Goodness gracious. So I have a little spreadsheet of information in front of me here, and that's hard to believe given how careful and how well executed that lift was. This is only her second powerlifting meet. So she's an 8th grade U.S. history teacher. All right, Reagan Smith, 56 kilo class with 97.5 kilos. A lot of good conservative jumps today, these 5 kilo jumps. All right, Reagan. Oh, there we go. That's a good choice for a second. There's a little bit of struggle, but not too much. 2 white lights, so that's a good lift. Her best is 104.3 kilos. We'll see what her third attempt is. This is her 4th meet, and she works as a bartender, 50 hours a week. Goodness gracious, that's quite the workload. So she self-identifies as a left-handed goofy ginger. So another little piece of background for her, and this is quite the comeback story. She was in a car accident in November. She totaled her car and couldn't lift till January. This is her first meet back. She's had to work twice as hard to get her numbers back and further than they were, and she feels blessed to have made a full recovery. She has 14 state records, and she'll be at the Northwest Regionals in June. And now we have Ashley Klein with a huge 132.5 kilo squat. Ashley Klein putting that up easy. 3 white lights for Ashley for her second attempt. Like I said, her first meet was just last year, the Ladies of Iron, and she's an assistant coach here at 307 Strength. She's soon to be a Strong First kettlebell instructor here in June. getting back to openers, second attempts, third attempts, because we've now crossing into the heavyweights of third attempts. So each lifter, as I mentioned, has 3 attempts at each discipline. And Celia is taking her third attempt at another 5-kilo jump up to 35 kilos. So I don't know what Celia's PRs are right now. But she just held that at the bottom. She wanted everyone to know that she hit depth. And the applause, you can hear it all the way back here. That's 3 white lights. She is 3 for 3 for the day. So up next we have Patricia Cooper taking in third attempt. So the opener or the first attempt is just a way for the lifter to get in the meet. Oh, look at her hugging her little granddaughter there. Oh, I love that. Oh, yes, that's a future Lady of Iron right there. So your opener puts you in the meet. It's your first attempt. It's something that you should be able to, in theory, do if you're hungover with just a couple hours of sleep. It's the base that you build for a total. Patricia Cooper here gets the squat command. Oh, just a little stick there at 47.5 kilos, but not really that bad. Let's see. What do the judges say? The judges are they're deliberating. I think it was a good lift. All right, it was a good lift. I hear applause. That to me indicates a good lift. Congratulations to Patricia. She's 3 for 3 for the day as well. So the second attempt is a bridge between your heavier attempt and your opener. Now, typically you don't want to miss your opener, but if you do, then you want to take that again for your second so that you're in the meet. So if you miss all 3 attempts, that's referred to as bombing out, meaning you don't score a total. Anna Camilla Little here, 55 kilos. Ooh, what a squat. She's got lots of support. She's got lots of support. She just set a 2.5 kilo PR for herself. Congratulations to Anna on that PR. So that is a 2.5 kilo squat PR for Anna. And she's only been lifting for a year. Ladies of Iron was her first meet. She's going places, that one. Carrera Erickson up next. She's taken 58.5 kilos. So typically, you can only take jumps in denominations of 2.5 kilos. However, there is an exception to this rule for youth lifters. So if you take a look at your screen there, you can see that she is in the youth class, so 10 to 11 years old. She's in the 40 kilo class. She can take jumps as small as 1 kilogram or half a kilo, excuse me. So she took full advantage of that, and that looked like a very good third attempt. She got 3 white lights. Congratulations to her. So let's see. I don't have any data on whether or not that was a PR, but it looked very, very good. And so, as a youth lifter, she has that prerogative to take smaller jumps. Everyone else in USA Powerlifting, unless you are setting an American record or an international record, you must take jumps in denominations of 2.5 kilos. Bar is loaded for Kristen Atkinson. She's in the 82.5 kilo class. So she's taken 70 kilos for her third, which is a 5 kilo PR. So let's see what she can do. That's a 10-pound PR. Let's see what she does with it. She gets the squat command. That's good. That's good. That's looking good from my angle. Let's see what the judges say. It's 3 white lights. That is a 5 kilo PR for Kristen Atkinson. 5 months lifting. That's it. Her second meet. So she's an 8th grade U.S. history teacher, and she hikes 300 plus miles in the summer. Goodness gracious. And she likes to snowmobile in the winter. So she is just getting in towards hiking season, and she loves lifting with her son, Christoph. Here we have Randy Mayer, 70 kilos for her third attempt. This will be a 7.5 kilo PR for her in her second meet. So let's see what the judges say. All right, she gets the squat command. That looks like decent depth to me. Let's see what the judges say. 3 white lights. The judges all liked it, all 3 of them. That is a big PR for her. Congratulations. So she has indicated that her occupation. So we asked all the lifters for a little bit of information. Her job is to bug her mom. She sings, plays the piano, and tumbles. I wonder if those things bug her mom. I don't know. If it were my daughter, tumbling would probably bother me, but I'm not the mom, so there you go. You can often find her reading a book or apparently lifting heavy weights. All right, Reagan Smith back up. Her third attempt, 100 kilos, 220 pounds. So she's coming back from that huge car accident. I mentioned this earlier. Oh, she's pushing for it. She gets that. I think she's got it. I think she's got it. What do the judges say, though? Judges say yes, it's a good lift. So she just graduated from Pinedale High School, moved across the state by herself, got her own place, and she's thinking about moving here to sunny Evanston in August. So hopefully she comes out, joins the club, and moves those numbers even further. It's her 4th meet, and I'd say she is well on her way. All right, Ashley Klein with a 140 kilo squat, just shy of her personal best of 145. Self-proclaimed gym rat. Based on how her lifts have moved so far, I believe it. So let's see. All right, bars loaded for Ashley Klein. She gets the squat command. Oh, she's fighting for it. Oh, she stands up with it. Let's see what the judges say. That was a well-chosen third attempt. Oh, that's a no lift there. Just 1 white light, 2 red lights. That's a shame. I wonder what the call was on that one. Sadly, I don't have the color cards here. I can't see what the reasoning was that the judges had. But perhaps a depth call. Could have been downward movement on one side, perhaps. But she fought for it. She stood up. She may not have gotten a good lift, but she'll come back and get that at her next meet. All right, heading right into Flight B with Brittany Elliott. Brittany Elliott has 47.5 kilos loaded up on the bar, which is just 5 kilos shy of her best squat. That's a big opener. All right, we have some deliberation by the judges here. Let's see if we can listen in. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm hearing that Ashley Klein gets a relift because it was determined that one of the spotters jumped in too early to assist her. And so she will get another attempt at that 140 kilo attempt for that third attempt. So in powerlifting, we do occasionally make mistakes. It doesn't happen very often, but occasionally a spotter will jump in before they are needed. And we call that interfering with the lifter. And it is at the discretion of the judges to give that lifter a relift, to give them the ability to lift it again. So she will get a short break. I believe she gets 3 minutes on the clock. And then she will be able to attempt the lift again. All right, ladies and gentlemen watching, we're giving her a little bit of time to recover so she can take that big attempt again. And apologies if you've been having trouble watching the live stream. We've realized that we have overloaded our bandwidth. So we're going to stick at the side angle for just a minute or two while we adjust the resolution on our main camera. All right, we have Ashley getting back under the bar. Bar is loaded for her. All right.
Get an Ash. Squat.
The whole room goes quiet. Oh, she's fighting for. Oh, she can't quite do that. So the difficulty, the other edge of the sword in taking a relift is that quite often you have programmed all of your lifts so that you're expending all the energy you have. You're giving everything you've got on that third, and that's just good preparation. And so if there is an error or an issue and you get a relift, it's not all that common that you'll actually be able to grind that out. It becomes almost a pure force of will at that point to be able to grind out a fourth attempt in any given discipline. So she struggled with that mightily, but she'll come back and get it next time. Absolutely. All right, now we're actually moving on to flight B. So there, like I said, there are two flights in today's second annual Wyoming Ladies of Iron competition. And we're starting off with Brittany Elliott at 47.5 kilos. So, like I said, this is about 5 kilos shy of her personal best. So she is opening pretty heavy. So let's see what she can do. All right, settles in, gets the squat command, shoots down and up. Goodness gracious, that looked like an opener should. As I mentioned, each lifter gets 3 attempts, and that was a good lift, by the way, in case you missed the white lights at the bottom of your screen there. Each lifter gets 3 attempts, and your opener should be something you can do practically hungover so that you get yourself in the meet and score a total. And that looked like an opener should. Following her, we have Shay Holmes in the 100-kilo open class, opening with 57.5 kilos. Bars loaded for Shay. Let's see what we got. She looks comfortable. She looks confident. She gets this. She doesn't. Oh, she got a little delay on the squat command there. Well done. Oh, she looked like she wanted to rack that a little early. Judges don't care. 3 white lights. She looked like she wanted to rack it a little early, but she didn't. And so what a lifter looks like and how they move can be 2 totally different things. And the judges are not looking for what the lifter looks like they want to do. They're looking for what they actually do. As long as she does not take a step before she receives the rack command, still a good lift. All right, we're loading up 72.5 kilos for Alexis Kism. Kism. Ah, goodness gracious. I do apologize if I am mispronouncing your name. You can come and smack me for it later. Alexis is opening with 72.5 kilos. And goodness gracious, look at that hair. That is fantastic. Oh. Like I said, powerlifting is surprisingly fashion conscious. All right, she's getting herself set, getting herself ready. And she's got that squat command. Sits down, stands back up. Nice and smooth. Squat and rack. Those are the commands we're looking for, and those are the commands she took. All right. Her best squat is 88.4 kilos. So that to me says that she's lifting primarily in pounds wherever it is that she's working. She's a hairdresser, which explains the excellent job that she did with her hair today. She's been lifting for 5 years. So let's see what she does. Let's see if she sets herself a nice PR today. Moving on, we have Frankie Mayer, 67.5 kilo class, opening with 75 kilos. $75 kilos, 165 pounds. Let's see what you can do with that. Right. Easy opener for Frankie. 3 white lights. Adding 20 kilos to the bar for Ayla Rhodes in the 60 kilo class, opening at 95 kilos. Ayla's best squat is 102 kilos. So it looks like we might see a lot of PRs in this Blight B. So Ayla is a cosmetologist. Bar is loaded for Ayla. She's ready. Sits all the way down. She very much looked for the absolute lowest point she could possibly get to. There's no way she gets a depth call on that. 3 white lights from the judges. Jessica Carpenter moving up to 105 kilos. Jessica Carpenter, her best squat's 124 kilos. She has not been lifting for very long, and she's in accounting. She loves to read. camp and hike with her family. And she asked that we give a special shout out to Ben, Octavian, Elysian, and Geneva. Thank you all for supporting her. Jessica's lifting in the 100+ kilo class. So what you may have noticed in the bottom corner of your screen, this is a weight class based sport. And so each lifter weighs within a certain weight class, so that's up to and including that particular weight. But in this case, it is 100+, meaning any weight over 100 kilos is open. All right, we have the bar loaded for Jessica Carpenter, stepping up for her opener. I don't know why, but I have a feeling she's going to smoke this. She gets the squat command. I'll be honest, to my eyes, that looked a teensy bit high, but we'll see what the judges say. And the judges agreed with me. That was a little bit high. She needs to get just a little bit deeper on that squat. Sit just a little bit lower. She did not struggle with the weight. She just didn't quite get low enough. She'll come back and nail that on her second attempt. Bury it. All right. Hannah Salisbury coming up next. 67.5 kilo class, opening with 107.5 kilos. Her best squat is 117. So we've crossed into the 200s here. Specifically 220 pounds here on the bar. And it just didn't even look like she had to expend any energy at all to squat that. So let's see what the judges say. It's an excellent opener. And I think that was a depth call as well. So a little high there, but again, the control she had over that weight, I'm sure she'll bury it on her next one. Coming up next, we have Kimberly Duarte. She's been lifting for about 3 years, but this is her second meet. So she met Maggie of 307 Strength at her first meet, and she is here all the way from Boulder, Colorado. So that's about a 6-hour drive, maybe a little bit more than 6 hours away. So she drove here, I assume, yesterday. So let's see how that affects her performance. Kimberly in that bright blue A7 singlet. Gets the squat command, very careful, very considering, looking for that precise depth. Let's see what the judges say. 3 white lights, she found depth perfectly, expending no more energy than she needed. So you'll notice elite powerlifters try to expend the least amount of energy possible to create the greatest efficiency that they can in each and every lift. So powerlifting at its peak is a game of leverages. So we are almost 400 pounds on this opener for Nicole Miller. Almost 400 pounds. This is Nicole's personal best being loaded up for her opener. Bars loaded for Nicole. 374 pounds on her opener. All right, she gets that squat command. Stands up with it. Wow. What a lift. What a lift. Let's see what the judges say. Oh. So if you I'll turn the ambient sound on here, you can hear the announcer. It sounds like she didn't quite hit depth on that one. We've had quite a few depth calls on this flight B. So Given the control she showed over that, I think she'll come back and absolutely nail it. She might even take a jump for her second attempt. Now, occasionally you'll see a lifter that doesn't quite hit depth on their opener, not because they can't find depth or because they can't get to it, but because the weight simply isn't heavy enough. And for Nicole, maybe that's the case. Maybe it just wasn't enough weight for her to get down low enough. We will see what she puts in for her second attempt. Speaking of second attempts, we have Brittany Elliott here on her second attempt at 52.5 kilos. Gets the squat command. This ties her personal best. Let's see. Let's see. Did she jump a command? I'm not certain precisely what that was, but I'm sure she'll come back and smoke that on the third attempt. Again, that was tying her her top squat, her personal best. So moving along to Shay Holmes in the open 100 class. So that means she is up to and including 100 kilos in body weight. And I can tell you looking at her, that is all muscle. All right, her knees are locked. She's got that squat command. It looks like she found depth. Let's see what the judges say. She was looking at it. She wanted to put that back, but she's listening. She is paying attention. She is fully engaged, and she gets 3 white lights for her trouble. Excellent squat. Excellent squat. On to Alexis, our resident hairdresser. She's got 80 kilos on the bar. So she took a 7.5 kilo jump between her 2 attempts. So typically between attempts, most lifters, and this rule becomes less and less of a general rule over time, I find, but most lifters take reasonable 5 to 7 kilo jumps between attempts. As the weights get heavier, of course, and the percentages get lower, you may see wider jumps. But here, circa 100, 150 kilos, you're going to see jumps in the 5 to 7 kilo range. And this is a 7.5 kilo jump right around that norm. She's got a good plan and she is executing on it. She's got depth. There's no way she doesn't have depth. And goodness, that looked easier than her opener. 3 white lights. Now, I will say, as a competitor myself and as a referee, the thing that I see most often with openers, why people struggle with those, besides commands, of course, is nerves, particularly in the opener squat. So the squat, your squat opener is your first lift of any meet day. And so all the nerves, all the jitters, all the butterflies in your stomach compound themselves into that first lift. And so it can feel heavier because you don't feel as dialed in, you don't feel as confident. But then, and that's why you might occasionally see second attempts that move far faster than first attempts. Now, interesting fact here about Frankie. Frankie Mayer with that 82.5 kilo squat here, which is over her body weight, I might add. She has one of the 2 racks in. So, oh, that was a good second attempt. Good second attempt. That moved well, but it wasn't too easy, it wasn't too hard. So she's got 1 rack in. You see they just adjusted that back out. So the uprights on the squat rack here can adjust inwards and outwards to accommodate different grips. Now, for some lifters, if they have a little bit wider of a walkout, meaning they take the bar on their back and they step back and they move side to side a little bit more. They take a wider stance. Then occasionally the weights as you step out will hit the upright and it can put you out of position. It can be uncomfortable, or it can just break your focus. And so a recent trend we've seen is one of the 2 uprights being put in. Not both of them, but one of them. So that way you can take a slightly wider grip, but still not hit the uprights on a slightly wider walkout. Ayla Rhodes gets the squat command, And she's finding depth. She looked for it, and oh, that's a nice push through at 100 kilos. Let's see what the judges say. 2 white lights, so that's a good lift. So one of those uprights in, it just moves it out of the way just enough so that the weights don't necessarily hit the uprights, because every time the bar is loaded, the spotters and loaders are also centering the bar according to the positions of the uprights. And so the lifter takes a step back. You see that center spotter there. She's adjusting that. We have Jessica Carpenter. She's coming back. She's going to crush this, I think. So she's going to hit depth this time. She's got to get a little deeper. She knows what she's got to do. She understands the assignment. She gets the squat command. Sits down, stands up with it. What do the judges say? Still a little high, the judges say. Still a little high. Needs to sit a little deeper. Not struggling with the weight at all. Just needs to sit down a little bit more. So you may be surprised to hear that the folks that lift the most weight in a powerlifting meet are not the lifters, but the spotters and loaders. So especially the 2 side loaders who are moving the plates on and off and on and off and on and off and on and off for the couple hours that today's meet will be. Now, typically meets last a lot longer. You've got more than 2 flights. Today, it's a relatively small meet. We're focusing on the ladies of iron. Hannah Salisbury gets that squat command. Oh, what an attempt. Oh, that looked really good to me. And yet, the judges agreed with me. That's 3 white lights. Hannah Salisbury just coming up shy of her personal best. We'll see what she puts on the bar for her third. Kimberly with 125 kilos on the bar. That is a 7.5 kilo jump. Pretty sizable there. We're moving into 2 wheel category. Wheels, of course, referring to the round plates on the bar. Now, Kimberly's been lifting for about 3 years, and this is just her second meet. So 82.5 kilo weight class, 125 kilos on the bar. And you saw when she last stepped on the platform the precision that she executed that lift with. So let's see what she can do with 125 kilos. That's right. This is how legends are made. 275 pounds on the bar. These are some big squats from these ladies today. Ooh, she's looking for that precise depth, and she found it. The judges saw depth. She is right there at that perfect line of hip crease below top surface of the knee. All right, Nicole Miller's taking 170 kilos again. Again, this is going to tie her personal best. Now, she missed this last lift for depth. So let's see what she can do with this now. My money says she buries it. But then again, looking in my wallet, it's empty. So my money's not worth much these days. Bar is loaded for Nicole. She looks focused. All right, let's get that side view. Oh, that looked good to me. That's 3 white lights. She got it. She sank it. All right, congratulations. She just tied her personal best. Congrats to Nicole. Let's see if she can break that with the third. All right, Brittany Elliott, we're stripping the bar down to 55 kilos. Brittany Elliott's going to get a 2.5 kilo PR on this if she can get 2 or more white lights from the judges. This is her first USA powerlifting meet. Her first one. And she's already staring down third place. A lot of love in the room. All right, she's got that squat command. She's got depth. She can't quite. Yep, she got stuck in the hole there. So, one of the rules of performance for the squat is that there cannot be any downward movement of the bar during the course of the lift. That is actually a blue card. So, typically, you will see the judges highlight a particular color when they put a red light, and blue refers to up and down motion of the bar. Moving on to Shay Holmes' third squat attempt. We are cruising through our squats today. 70 kilos for her third attempt. Shay is so far perfect for the day. 2 for 2. We have quite a few ladies who are on pace for perfect days. Bar is loaded for Shay. All right, there's that squat command. She's got the depth. Oh, she sat down a little bit in the hole, though. There's a little bit of a double bounce to my eyes. Yep, and the judges saw that too. Yeah, so again, no downward movement of the bar during the course of the lift. So from the bottom of the lift, you cannot go down again. So what she did is she sank to the bottom, or what looked like the bottom. The bar stopped moving and started to rise just a little bit. And then she sank down a little deeper to get some stretch reflex. And unfortunately, that is called double bouncing and is another of our blue infractions for the red light. Bar is loaded for Alexis. All right, Alexis is taking 90 kilos, and this is a roughly 1.6 kilo, or this is a PR for her. This is a personal best. So she primarily lifts in pounds. So let's see what she can do with 90 kilos. That's almost 200 pounds on that bar. Oh, she couldn't quite get out of the hole there. Excellent choice. Good choice attempt. Good fight there. Well done. So I'm hearing from the main room that was actually her meet PR she tied. So great work. Moving on to Frankie Mayer. She's taken 90 kilos. £198 on the bar. She's dabbled for a couple of years. This is just her second meet. Oh, I thought she had that one. We saw that little head shake. She knew her body well. She knew she couldn't quite finish that one. So she has indicated that her primary occupation is embarrassing her children. But I don't think she's doing that to death. She also plays violin and clogs. All right, Jessica Carpenter, taking 105 kilos for her third attempt. She's got to get this to stay in the meet. All right, Jessica's going real deep on this one. All right, shouting out to Ben, Octavian, Elysian, and Geneva. Let's see if she gets. Oh, that looked deep to me. That looked deep to me. Let's see what the judges say. 3 white lights. She's in the meet, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man. Woo, I'm shaking. Love comeback stories. All right, we're in the third attempt for our Flight B. We are just finishing up our squats for the day. There are 4 more squats in today's Wyoming Ladies of Iron. Ayla's taking 105 kilos, same weight. £231. This is almost twice her body weight. All right, she's ready. She knows the drill. She's got depth, and she's gonna put that. Oh, I think that to me, and just to my eyes, looks as though the spotter may have intervened a little quickly, but I am very far away from the platform and cannot see. So she may have realized that she didn't have it. To me, it looked like the bar was still moving, but I don't see her challenging it. So great work. That was an excellent fight on that third attempt. Excellent choice for a third attempt as well. Third attempt should be difficult, and occasionally missing your third attempt is definitely not a problem. It's a sign of good planning. There are so many factors that play into the day of a powerlifting meet. So many factors that play into what you can do on the platform. And having a good plan is the foundation for good performance. But there are some factors you simply can't control. It can come all the way down to something like weather and hydration on the day. Hannah Salisbury here taking 115 kilos for a smooth ride all the way to the top. Way to fight is just right. Way to fight. Excellent job with that 115 kilo squat. That is 253 pounds. I'll be honest, I think she might have had another couple kilos in the tank there. So it's worth noting that Hannah Salisbury, very close to her personal best there, just right at it. Now, when you see a personal best, oftentimes that's also under optimal conditions. So that's the one lift you're doing that day. It's the only thing you need. And so in competition, when you have multiple events, multiple lifts, multiple and other factors you can't control, it's amazing to see someone hit a personal best on the platform. Speaking of personal bests, Kimberly, 3 years lifting her second meet, 132.5 kilos. 292 pounds. Just smooth sailing on that one. 3 white lights. Excellent squat. Occasionally, you will see a grinder. And in fact, I'd say more often than not, you'll see a grinder on the third attempts. That, to me, didn't look like as much of a grind. It looked like a good choice. It looked like she might be saving some energy for the latter lifts of the day. And that is also prudent planning because powerlifting is not just about one lift. Powerlifting is about the combination of all 3 lifts. It's building a total. So this is our big squat for today. 175 kilos, 385 pounds for Nicole Miller. That is that's a 5 kilo PR. She could have probably done a little more than that. Goodness gracious. What a PR there. 385 pounds moving like a second attempt. Congratulations to Nicole on that personal best. Her first USA powerlifting meet. 175 kilos, 385 pounds. Excellent, excellent work there. So we have now completed our squat portion of today's United ladies of Iron Meat here in Wyoming. We're going to take a short 10-minute break, set up the platform for bench press, and we will be right back with more wholesome hoisting. We are brought today by Impact Physical Therapy, Flex Fitness, 24-hour gym, La Choza, Mexican delights, can confirm is delicious, and 307 Strength Barbell Club. Big thanks to 307 Strength for putting the meat on today. right, just over 10 seconds left to go. And we're back with bench press at the second annual Wyoming United Ladies of Iron. So we've got about 4 minutes and 53 seconds, it looks like. Yep, just under 5 minutes left to go before lifting begins again. And so, while we're here, let's talk about the rules of performance for the bench press. So the bench press, as far as commands are concerned, is the most complex lift. And you will notice, particularly on the openers, is the most missed lift for that reason. For those of you who can see the lights on Lifting Cast, if you're paying attention following along there, that is a yellow card for not following commands. So the commands in the bench press. I have one for you. So before I go, all right, bar is loaded for Anna Camilla Little. She's opening with 25 kilos on the bar. So that is the bar and the collars. It's 55 pounds. And that looked pretty easy. To the sounds of Taylor Swift, she gets 3 wide lights. So Anna's best bench is 28.5 kilos. So that's just 3 kilos above where she just lifted. And that looked pretty easy. So we might actually see a bench PR out of her. She's been lifting for about a year and a month. This is her second meet. Ladies of Iron was her first meet last year. So taking a moment to talk about our venue here, Impact Physical Therapy. Justin Dennis, who's a doctor of physical therapy, he's been in business since 2015. And he graduated from University of Utah. He loves helping people get moving better and enjoys a good mystery, figuring out what his patients' problems are. As they're loading up the bar, we'll talk a little bit more about Impact Physical Therapy. So they are building an indoor turf, breaking ground in 2024 with a full project hopefully completed by 2030. It'll feature a 160-foot by 100-foot field. His goal is to help kids in the community and improve the sports atmosphere here in Evanston, Wyoming. Ferreira Erickson on 27.5 kilos on the bar. So that is the bar, the collars, and those little tiny silver plates you can see there. She got 3 white lights. So I mentioned earlier the rules of performance in the bench press. So the lifter removes the weight from the rack with or without the assistance of a designated handoff individual. So the center spotter is designated as a handoff individual. So they will hand the bar out of the rack to the lifter, at which point the lifter holds the bar in the fully extended position. So elbows fully extended. Need to keep the shoulders and the hips on the bar and the feet flat on the floor. So if you see this lifter, she sets up, she's moving her feet around, she grabs the bar, she's going to remove that from the rack, no assistance needed. She gets the start command. The bar comes down to the chest, remains motionless. She then receives the press command from the head judge, at which point she will press the bar away from her chest or abdominal area up to a elbows fully locked position. Now, during the course of the lift, your feet have to remain on the floor, your hips have to remain fully in contact with the bench, and your shoulders have to remain fully in contact with the bench. Now, there used to be a rule prior to our most recent iterative rule change where your head also had to remain in contact with the bench. Now, that has been done away with because it was very difficult for the head ref to pay attention to so many variables at one time. Now, that's not the only reason, of course, that they did away with that rule. However, I'd like to think that they made it easier for us referees to be able to adjudicate lifts for the lifters. All right, Celia Williams. She's been training with barbells since January of 2023, kettlebells since June of 2022. Last year's Ladies of Iron was her first meet. So she sets up and she will be taking a handoff from that lead spotter. Spotter steps away as soon as the bar's in place so that the head ref can see and give the commands. As you've also noticed, we have 3 referees, 2 on the side and 1 at the head of the lifter. So the head referee, or chief referee as they're often called, they give all the commands to the lifters. So for the squat, if you recall, that was squat and rack. For the bench press, that's start, press, and rack. We have our future Lady of Iron wandering around in front of the scorer's table here. Oh, we have another as well. Bar is loaded for Randy Mayer. She's got 77 pounds on the bar, 35 kilos. So she gets the start command straight down to the chest, straight up, into the rack, start, press, and rack. She gets all 3 commands, 3 white lights, easy opener. Now for the bench in particular, it's very, very important to open light. Some might say too light, because the number of variables you have to contend with in the bench press is significantly higher than any of the other lifts. Most notably, bench is still, despite it being what most would consider an upper body lift, it is a full body lift. All 3 of these lifts use the entire body. And so, when you're using your entire body to press a bar from your chest to fully extended position, also trying to listen to commands, also trying to stay in position, it's just a whole lot going on. And so, pushing yourself can be difficult. And so, for an opener, especially if you're still a little nervous, you want to open light. Reagan Smith opening with 47.5 kilos. That's 100 and just shy of 105 pounds. And she moves well. So she was in a major car accident. She's coming back from that. And she seems to have come back from that very, very well. Her lifting today has been very clean, very good. So her best bench press, 54 kilos. So I think we might see a PR out of her today. We'll see. All right, Tara. Tara is what we call a push-pull lifter. So we have 19 lifters today. We have 10 in the first flight in this flight A, and we have 9 in flight B. Now, Tara did not show up. She did not perform squat because she signed up to do specifically bench and deadlift only. So if you look in the bottom corner of your screen, you see she's the women's master push-pull in the 75-kilo class. Now, push-pull is only the bench press. Ooh, what a clean descent. Come on, fight for that. Fight for that. Oh, she couldn't quite do that. So that looked a little bit heavy for an opener for Tara. So Tara's best bench press is 57.5 kilos. So she's trying to get close to that on her opener. And it looks like she may have opened a little bit heavy, or maybe it was just nerves. So for a push-pull lifter, their first lift of the day, as I mentioned in the squats, their first lift of the day is their opener bench. And so you've got all the nerves on top of all the commands, on top of the first heavy lift that you're doing outside of your warm-ups. It's a whole lot going on. So I have a feeling Tara's going to come back and crush that on her second. Moving forward with Kristen Atkinson, she's opening with 57.5 kilos. So Kristen's already on her opener blowing past her best bench of all time. Her personal best is 55 kilos. So 55 kilos, 120 pounds. She's already 5 pounds over her personal best just on her opener. Be exciting to see what happens here. She's been lifting for about 5 months. She's an 8th grade U.S. history teacher. Hikes over 300 miles in the summer. Oh, and goodness gracious, it looked like an opener too. I think she's underestimated her personal best. Well, she's got a new one now. So, interesting fact about Kristen before we move on to Ashley. She climbed the Manitou Incline last summer. Ashley Klein opening with 67.5 kilos, just under 150 pounds. Bars loaded for Ashley. So you heard "Let's go, coach" on that background on that noise there. So Ashley is an assistant coach at 307 Strength Youth Barbell Club, which is one of our sponsors of today's meet. Excellent. So that anytime you see a coach on the platform, you expect excellent execution, no less. And that is exactly what we saw from Ashley on her opener right there. I think we'll see a nice big bench from her as well. So her personal best, Ashley's personal best, is 75 kilos. So she's only got 7.5 kilos to go to hit that personal best. So let's see what she does there. So we've got the bar loaded at 27.5 kilos for Anna Little. And that is just 1 kilo under her personal best. Start, press, and rack. She got 3 white lights there. Carrera Erickson coming up next, 40 kilo class, 30 kilos on the bar. So again, I keep saying this because it's amazing to me. She's been lifting since she was 7 years old. So you see they placed a set of blocks down there. So taking a look from the side here, you can see they've got those two blue wooden blocks with carpeting on the top. That raises the surface for Carrera's feet. So lifters with legs that are a little bit shorter, or if they have a little bit of trouble getting their feet down on the floor, that gives them a more solid base to press from. Bar is loaded for Carrera. She takes a hand off. Got a little helpful movement of the hair out of the way there. Oh, get those elbows locked. Good. Nice wide grip. Ooh. That was a very quick press command. Let's see what we got. 2 white lights. So I have a feeling that was partly due to the bar not quite being motionless on the chest when she got the press command, but that's all right. So she still handled the weight very deftly. So she's been lifting since she was 7, but this is not her first meet. She is absolutely crushing it in the world of powerlifting. Patricia Cooper here with 30 kilos on the bar. This is her first ever USA powerlifting meet. So she is getting all these commands for the first time. Start, press, and rack. So typically, and it's honestly, it's more for the benefit of the audience and to keep the judge in good shape than anything else. But the press command is usually accompanied with an upward movement of the arm as well. Now, in the case of a hearing impaired lifter, which happens more frequently than you might think, especially with loud music that our good friend Gino likes to play during his meets that he's announcing, lifters will look for a visual cue, or they'll receive a tap in the shoulder from the chief judge. So it's at the chief judge's discretion. They may move closer to the lifter so that the lifter can hear their voice a little bit better, or they may give the hand signals above the lifter's face. So start command for Celia and the press command and rack. And that looks like a good lift for Celia Williams at 35 kilos. Celia's been training with barbells since just January of last year. And her first meet was the Ladies of Iron, the first annual Ladies of Iron here in Wyoming, this being the second. Randy Mayer, 40 kilos on the bar. So again, and forgive me, I'll finish my thought on the hearing impaired lifters. So it is at the chief judge's discretion between them and the lifter to determine what the best course of action is to communicate those commands to the lifter. So Randy drives down to her chest, presses all the way up, gets the rack command. That looked like a good lift to me, and the judges agree. 3 white lights. So Randy, this is only her second meet, and her job is to bug her mom. She sings, plays the piano, and tumbles. So you can often find her reading a book, and she's almost out of middle school. Another of our younger ladies of iron. So Reagan Smith. Now, this is an interesting story to follow today. It's her fourth meet. She works in a bar. She had a very severe car accident in November and couldn't lift till January. And this is her first meet back. And you can see the focus, all the work culminating in her ability to press that out. So 3 white lights on that. Excellent job. Excellent job there, Reagan. It's so nice to see you coming back. So Reagan got 50 kilos on her second attempt, which is just 4 kilos shy of her personal best. So we may see something close to her personal best today, which is impressive considering she is coming back from a major car accident and wasn't able to lift until the early part of this year. We're not even halfway through the year yet, so she barely had a full prep cycle coming into this. So it's very, very impressive. All right, Tara, our push-pull lifter, she's taking 55 kilos again, which I think is a very smart move. All right, she's setting herself up nice and tight. She's going to hit this lift. She's getting a handoff. All right. Start. Oh, push that up. I think she might have opened just a teensy bit heavy. So she is doing her best today. That was closer. So that moved a little bit better than her opener. So I think she'll come back and get that on her third. We'll see. So again, push-pull lifters, they do the bench press and the deadlift only. And so for her, her first lift of the day is just the bench press. And the pressure, the nerves coming in can be a hindrance on your opener. However, if you've missed your first and second, the kind of adrenaline rush you get for your third, I have a hunch you might get it. Kristen Atkinson here, 60 kilos on her second attempt on the bench. It's 132 pounds. Goodness gracious. And that was a PR for her. So she's just breaking her own PR. So 60 kilos, that's now 5 kilos over her personal best. She's only been lifting for 5 months. 8th grade U.S. history teacher, loves to lift with her son, Christoph. So let's see. What is she going to do on her third? Because that looked like an opener to me. But what do I know? Ashley Klein coming in with 72.5 kilos on the bar. That's 160 pounds, or just shy of 160 pounds. Bar is loaded for Ashley. She's been lifting for about a year and a half. Her first meet was last year's Ladies of Iron. She is our assistant coach here at 307 Strength, soon to be a strong first kettlebell instructor. Wow. Well done. Again, that looked very technically sound. 3 white lights. Judges loved it. We are on to our third attempts for this first flight of lifters in the Wyoming Ladies of Iron. Bar is loaded for Anna. 30 kilos on the bar. This will be a 2 kilo or a kilo and a half, I should say, more accurately, PR for her. She's been lifting for just over a year. All right, she's got that start down to her chest. And she gets it. All right, let's see what the judges have to say. I didn't see any downward movement, and neither did they. That's 3 white lights for a PR for Anna. So she is PR'd every lift so far today, and she is 6 for 6. What a day for Anna Little. All right, Carrera taking 31 kilos. And now, again, I mentioned this earlier. She's taking full advantage of her ability to just jump that 1 kilo. So let's take a look at the side view. Let's see if we can get our spotter there, I think, is. Let's take a look from the front. Oh, she took a 1 kilo jump from her second. So 3 white lights on that. As a youth lifter, she can take jumps. Oh, we got a weight coming off there. She can take those small jumps as a youth lifter. But everyone else in this meet, excepting the other youth lifter who opted to take 2.5 kilo jumps, must take 2.5 kilo jumps. Speaking of 2.5 kilos, 32.5 kilos on the bar for Patricia Cooper, 71 pounds. This is her first ever powerlifting meet. Ooh. Well, she had a little hitch in her get along there, a little bit of downward movement. Let's see what the judges say. I think that's a no lift. She had a little bit of downward movement on the bar there, but that's all right. Her first powerlifting meet, she's in the meet. She's doing well. She's putting up a total. She missed that opener, but she got her second attempt and just barely missed out on the third attempt there. Great work today, especially for your first meet. Great job. Usually the most common infraction we see for lifters in their first meet is commands, especially in the bench press. And she had no trouble with commands today. Now, I will tell you, as a lifter and a referee, I don't see as many issues with female powerlifters with commands. It's the guys, it's the men who can't listen when they're told to do something. Ladies, well, they pay more attention. I know I'm going to get attacked from that or by that for that from some of my fellow male powerlifters, but that's okay. You all know I'm right. Celia Williams, 40 kilos on the bar, brings it down. Oh, she couldn't quite get that. Her feet shot up off the floor. Yep. She knew she didn't have that one. That's all right. She'll come back and get that next time. 40 kilos. Great attempt. Loved it. Loved it. She's having a great day so far. Randy, 42.5 kilos, took a conservative 2.5 kilo jump after that 5 kilo jump between her first and second. So let's see what she can do with 93 pounds. So Randy, she's been lifting for about a year. This is her second meet. Her job is to bug her mom. She's almost out of middle school. She's got a lot of runway ahead of her as a lifter. She's in our raw teen class in the 67.5 kilo class. She just dives down to her chest. Oh, what a press. See that? That looked like an excellent choice for a third attempt. So 45 kilos would have been way too much, but 42.5 was just perfect. Just perfect. Excellent level of grind there. She's got some energy left for deadlift. We'll see what she does when the bar hits the floor. Reagan Smith here taking 52.5 kilos, 115 pounds on the bar. This is her fourth meet. And again, she is our comeback story from her car accident. 52.5 kilos. This is just barely underneath her personal best of all time after coming back from, oh my goodness, what a struggle. Push through that. Oh, she had the entire room on their feet. All right, Tara, our push-pull lifter, she's got to get this one. The adrenaline's pumping. 55 kilos on the bar. She's got to get this one to stay in the meat. All right, Tara Senechal coming up. She's got to get this one. Let's go, Tara. Start, press. Oh, she gets it all the way up. Oh, she's in the meat. 3 white lights. All right, Tara. That's the way to do it. Woo! All right. Bring my heart rate down a little bit. Ooh. Kristen Atkinson taking 62.5 kilos. This is our second to last bench press in this flight A. 62.5 kilos, 137 pounds. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention she's broken her PR with every single lift on the bench press. 55 kilos was her personal best as of before today. Oh, she couldn't quite get 62.5, but she walks away with 60 kilos, which is a 5 kilo PR for her after 5 months of lifting, her second meet. This 8th grade U.S. history teacher can press. And not just press, but impress. Ashley Klein with our final bench press in Flight A.
I have no plans, so I'm just gonna chill.
She's been lifting for about a year and a half. Her first meet was last year's Ladies of Iron. She is the assistant coach here at 307 Strength. So let's see what she can do. She took a 5 kilo jump. This is going to be a 2.5 kilo PR for her. She's got that start command. What a good play. Oh! That was an absolutely perfect choice of attempt. 3 white lights. What a grind. She earned every inch of that PR. Every gram earned. 77.5 kilos for Ashley Klein. That's a 2.5 kilo PR today. Being a gym rat has its perks. Moving on to our Flight B, we have Brittany Elliott opening with 35 kilos. Now, Brittany is doing her first ever USA powerlifting meet. So let's see if she can keep her ears open for the commands. Start, press, and rack. That looked good to me. 3 white lights, the judges agree. The hard one's over. Up next, we have Shay with 42.5 kilos on the bar. Shay is also doing her first ever USA powerlifting meet. Today's Wyoming United Ladies of Iron. Start, press, and rack. She's got it all. So as a reminder, so we're in Flight B now. As a reminder to our viewers at home or wherever you may be watching the live stream, in your car, on your cell phone, perhaps sitting in the bathroom. That's where I would probably be watching this on my phone. Let's explain the rules again here. So for the bench press, this is the most technically complicated lift from a commands perspective. So the lifter takes their place on the bench, takes the bar out of the rack with or without the assistance of a handoff from one of the spotters. So In some federations, you can use a friend, coach, colleague, whomever, to give you a handoff. But in USA Powerlifting, we like to keep it consistent. We like to make sure that there's no funny business going on and that they are fully safe. So it's not just for competitive prowess, but also for the safety of the lifter. So Alexis, a little bit of a heavy opener, I got to say, but she still nailed it. She got 3 white lights. Congratulations. So the lifter, as you've seen, removes the bar from the rack with or without the assistance of a spotter, depending on their preference. And they will remain at the ready position, feet flat on the floor, hips and shoulders in contact with the bench, with the elbows locked until they receive the start command, at which point they will lower the bar to their chest or abdominal area and where it should remain motionless until they hear the press command, which you'll hear in just a second. There it is, press command, and return the bar to the top position with the elbows locked. And that was 3 white lights for her. Excellent lifting we're seeing today. Very clean, very few misses. So I've got lifting cast open, which if you'd like to follow along with the board and the score, you can see that. Not a whole lot of red on this when for your openers or for your second attempts. A few red spots here and there, but not as much as you might see normally. So Jessica Carpenter, she had a little bit of a struggle with her squats. So let's see how she does with her bench. 52.5 kilos here. She hasn't been lifting for very long. It's her first ever powerlifting meet. She's in accounting. She loves to read, camp, and hike with her family. All right, she's got her she's got to get set up with the blocks here. So you can see she's got a little bit of a supportive structure under her feet there. All right, she gets the start command, lowers it down to her chest, and then press. Oh, very easy. Oh, very, very, very easy. See that? That is what an opener should look like. Excellent job. 3 wet lights for her, for Jessica. Her best bench is 65.8 kilos. So I think we might see her edge in on a PR today. We'll see. Ayla Rhodes stepping up to the bar. Her best bench is 63.5 kilos. So that's just 11 kilos over where she is right now. Opening nice and light. Very sound. Very sound. Good lift. Ayla Rhodes is doing her first powerlifting meet as well. She's a cosmetologist. Loading the bar up for Hannah Salisbury. 62.5 kilos. Another thing that we oftentimes see with newer lifters who are doing their first powerlifting meet is issues with their equipment. So you are allowed to use knee sleeves, wrist wraps as supportive, quote unquote, supportive equipment for this lift. And notice that Hannah is using none of these things. She has a watch, singlet, t-shirt, shoes, and socks. That's it. No additional help at all. 62.5 kilos for her opener. Nice nice lift there. 3 white lights. No supportive equipment at all. But another issue that we oftentimes see with newer lifters is, particularly with wrist wraps that use thumb loops to wrap them around one's wrist, we see they leave those thumb loops on their thumbs. And this is sadly against the rules. Now, this is not something that we're going to take a lift away from a lifter, but we will have to tell them to adjust that. Speaking of equipment, so there is a little piece of trivia for all of you out there who are watching at home. There is only one piece of equipment that you can adjust on the platform. Now, the platform you can see is the raised area with carpet that's surrounded by metal girding here. The platform, there's only one piece of equipment that you can adjust on the platform. Anyone know what that is? I can't hear you answer anyway, so I'm going to tell you it's the belt. So you cannot adjust any equipment on the platform except for a lifting belt. So Kimberly with a 67.5 kilo opener She's been lifting for about 3 years. This is her second meet. She drove all the way from Boulder, Colorado to be here. All right. Now, speaking of sponsors, gotta love those segues. Flex Fitness 307 Strength is hosting our warm-up area today. We have 5 lifters from 307 Strength ranging from 10 to 60 years old in today's competition. Today's Wyoming United Ladies of Iron. Up here we have Nicole Miller, 95 kilo opener. That is a heavy opener. That is 200, almost 210 pounds on the bar. And she just, whoosh, there it goes. 3 white lights. What a strong, that is a lady of iron right there. Opening with almost 100 kilos, just over 200 pounds. So Nicole Miller, 95 kilos. Let's see. Her personal best is 100 kilos. I think we're going to see a PR out of her today. Now, Brittany, speaking of PRs, she is blowing her PRs out of the water. 37.5 kilos is 5 kilos over her personal best. And I think she's going to get it. There it is. What a fight. Nice second attempt. Looking great. Getting all the white lights. All the judges liked that. If I could give you a white light, I would. If you could get 4 white lights, I would give you a white on that one. Sadly, I have no authority back here. Shay Holmes taking 47.5 kilos. Her first powerlifting meet. We have a lot of first timers today. Love to see the sport growing. Love to see women in this sport. All these strong women here today. All right, Shay gets the start. Ooh, there's a little bit of motion on the chest there. So she wasn't able to press that out. But even so, she got that press command, and there was a little bit of downward motion there as well. So she'll come back and crush that on her third. There's no problem there. So moving on back to our host for our warm-up area, Flex Fitness. They're a platinum level USA powerlifting gym and the only powerlifting friendly gym in Evanston, Wyoming. They have 24/7 access, and they're planning an expansion towards the end of 2024. So Alexis taking 50 kilos on her second attempt. That's a hefty jump. Let's see what she can do. She's a hairdresser, as you can probably tell by her phenomenal locks there. So Alexis's best bench is 61 kilos. She's been lifting for about 5 years. So let's see what she's got today. Good position. Oh, I think I might have seen the hips come up off the bench there. Let's see what the judges say. I'm afraid the judges agree with me. Yeah, her hips came up off the bench. So that's 2 reds and 1 white. So the head judge can't really see the hips and the feet as well as the side judges can. So the reason we have 3 judges is so that we have multiple perspectives, so that we can tell that the lift has been done to the highest of standards. So USA Powerlifting has very, very high standards of performance, which is why USA Powerlifting is the largest powerlifting federation in the United States. And in my very biased opinion, the best. Jessica Carpenter taking 55 kilos on her second attempt. She hasn't been lifting for very long. She's in accounting. She loves to read. And I think she read her attempt sheet very well because that was an excellent lift. 3 white lights. Same weight on the bar for Frankie Mayer, 121 pounds. Getting heavy here. Now, Frankie has been dabbling with lifting for about 2 years. This is her second meet. Her primary occupation is she loves to embarrass her children. She loves to play violin and to clog, and she has a major accomplishment. She became a strong first kettlebell instructor in 2022. So she is opting out of the handoff. Start. Oh, so that did not go down. It stopped. So the bar, in the process of being pressed out, can stop. It just cannot go down. So she got 3 white lights for that. So downward movement of the bar, similar to the squat, is going to be a blue card with a red light. She did not get one of those. She got 3 white lights because the bar simply stopped in the process of being pressed out. Now, speaking of new lifters, we have Ayla stepping up to the bar. Her first ever powerlifting meet. She's a cosmetologist and thinks that she may be aiming for some state records. And we are loading 65 kilos onto the bar for Hannah Salisbury. And moving on to one of our other sponsors, 307 Strength. 307 Strength is home to 307 Strength Youth Barbell Club for kids ages 8 to 17. 2 kids and an assistant coach are participating in today's meet. So now 307 Strength is going to be hosting a 10-week summer camp for kids starting June 11th. They learn strongman and powerlifting, and it will end with a mock meet on August the 15th. So a full 10-week prep into a mock meet. Oh my goodness. What a mighty struggle for Hannah Salisbury with 65 kilos. That is just under her personal best. Let's see what the judges say. I think there might have been some downward motion on that one.
Yeah.
Loading 70 kilos on the bar for Kimberly Duarte. You can see if you look at the lower left corner of your screen, you can actually see that number expressed in Liberty Llamas, freedom units, or however you like to call our American system of weight measure. 154.32 pounds, 70 kilos for Kimberly Duarte. She's been lifting for about 3 years. This is her second meet. So she is also forecasted to take first place in the 82.5 kilo class in that blue A7 singlet, matching the plates very nicely. I think she might have done that on purpose. Like I said, powerlifting, very fashionable sport. Excellent job. Excellent. Easy lift there. Easy second attempt. Let's see if she takes a nice big jump for her third. Nicole Miller putting 100 kilos on the bar. This will tie her personal best. This is 220 pounds. This is the gold standard for gym bros and sisters alike. All gym rats strive for the 220-pound bench press. 100 kilos, second attempt. Come on, Nicole, what do you say? Start, press. Oh no. She's got a little downward movement there. She couldn't quite get past the sticking point. I think she'll get that one on her third. I don't think she's going to have any trouble with that. All right, we are on to our third attempts in our second flight for bench press. This is where the PRs are made in third attempts. Speaking of PRs, we have a 7.5 kilo PR coming up for Brittany Elliott. 40 kilos on the bar. That's 88 pounds. Her personal best before today was 32.5 kilos, which she blew past in her opener. Start, press, and let's come on, you can finish it. She's pushing hard. She's fighting for that so hard. Oh, that is a full 7-second struggle right there. Goodness gracious. What a day she's already had. Blowing past her PRs, fighting tooth and nail for that third. Goodness gracious. That was inspiring to watch. Shay Holmes taking her second again. For the weight for her second again, I should say. 47.5 kilos, just over or just under 105 pounds. As they load the bar, let me talk about High Venta Athletics. It's an Evanston, Wyoming nonprofit committed to creative opportunities for phys ed, for physical education. Their goal is to promote health and build a sense of community through physical activity. Now, they are hosting a kids fun run, 5K, and half marathon on June 8th. So if you are interested in a fun run 5K or half marathon to benefit High Venta Athletics, and you want to show your support for the commitment to creating physical education opportunities and community, head out on June 8th. Get signed up today. High Venta Athletics. And you'll see them, of course, on our sponsor roll in between our sessions here. So we are in our third attempt bench press on our flight B. So there are just 8 lifts left before we move on to deadlift. Oh, I don't know. She's pushing that one hard. Didn't quite have that one today. Oh, the spotters took it away from her so fast she couldn't even keep her hands on it. So shout out to our spotters and loaders. So spotters and loaders, as I mentioned earlier, they lift more weight than literally anyone else in this meet. They move more weight in one of these sessions than any of these lifters is doing. And they're responsible primarily for keeping the meet moving. So loading and unloading the bar and keeping our lifters safe. So the spotters, if the lifter can't quite handle the weight, they take the load off of that lifter so that they can very safely return it to the supports and come back and try it again next time. Alexis taking 50 kilos again. She's going to take a hand off. She's a hairdresser. She's been lifting for about 5 years. Brings that bar down nice and low to her abdomen. Oh, she's got some downward movement on that bar, but she pressed it out. She got it. I don't think she's going to get a good lift, but she did, in fact, succeed. So a little up and down motion there, but that's all right. She'll crush that next time. Ayla Rhodes coming in with 57.5 kilos again. This is her first meet. She's a cosmetologist, thinking about maybe setting some state records. Let's see. Bars loaded for Ayla. 60 kilo class. She's taken 126 pounds for her third. Well, that was quite the lift. 3 white lights. That's what a third should look like. All right, bar is loaded for Frankie Mayer. Her third, she's taking 57.5 kilos. Let's go, Frankie. This is a 2.5 kilo PR for her. Come on, Frankie, what do you say? 126 pounds? I think you got this. Oh, she's past the sticking point. There it is. She locked it out. 2 white lights. That's all you need. 2 white lights, and that's a good lift for Frankie. She just set a 2.5 kilo PR. For dabbling for only a couple of years and this being her second meet, she's doing pretty well. Jessica Carpenter coming out here, having a lot better luck with her bench press than she did with her squats. 65 kilos on the bar here, 143 pounds. She hasn't been lifting for very long. She's in accounting. She loves to read, camp, and hike with her family. Oh, she's got that one. Oh, and the feet came up. Oh, oh, oh. Come on, spotters. So so the weight came down and she actually lifted up the supports. So it wasn't a lack of weight there. I think she was simply out of position and her feet slipped out from under her. So she lost that base of support. So she did not get that last lift, but she'll come back and get that again another day. Hannah Salisbury, we're loading up 65 kilos. She's taken that again. That was her second attempt. 65 kilos for her third. This is just 3 kilos under her personal best. 150 pounds is her personal best. She's got 143 pounds on the bar today. Saving a little energy, I think. Now, when a lifter misses a lift, usually on the opener, you want to take it again. On the second attempt, it depends. It depends completely on how that lift felt. Now, if it felt like you had it, but you just missed on a technicality, they may still take a jump and risk to build a higher total. Hannah Salisbury, I think, was smart. She's fighting for that, but I don't think she's going to get past that sticking point. Man, she didn't. The spotters had to take that one away. Great fight from her. 62.5 kilos still. For a great day for her. 62.5 kilos is still a very impressive bench press. Kimberly here taking 72.5 kilos. She's been lifting for about 3 years. This is her second meet. She met Maggie at her first meet. Much like myself and that beautiful blonde referee on the other side, she drove all the way from Colorado for this meet. She drove to Boulder. Saw a little down. No, she didn't quite have that. Now, Kimberly, I have noticed, she is very technically sound. She knew she didn't have that, so she shook her head. She indicated to the spotter she was ready for them to take it. All right, Nicole Miller, she missed her second attempt at 100 kilos, but she still took a jump. So, as I mentioned earlier, with a second attempt, it depends. If you feel like you missed the lift based on a technicality, then you may opt to take a small jump into your next attempt because you know that you can control the weight. The strength is there. The technique was just not as much there as you would like. So Nicole has opted for the latter option to take a small jump, a 2.5 kilo jump, 5 pounds, up to 225. 225.9 pounds. So basically 226 pounds on the bar for Nicole. This will be a 2.5 kilo PR for her. Let's cheer her on. Our last bench of the day. Very clean lower. Oh, she's fighting for it. Oh, she's pressing it out. Oh no, could not quite get that today. Very, very close. Very strong lifter there. And with that, we are on to deadlifts. So we'll take a short 10-minute break and we will be back at you. So, if you will permit me, I will talk about our last sponsor. I'll wait for it to come up on the reel here. you see Evanston Technologies. We're founded in 2020 with the goal of helping small businesses with their increasing IT needs and afford full-time staff. With managed services, they address issues before they become problems. Evanston is helping us with all the technology today. Evanston is responsible for the overlays you see here for the live stream, as well as all the technology solutions that yours truly is using to bring this wonderful, colorful commentary to you. So a big thanks to Evanston for their support. And with that, we have our 10-minute break before we start. So I will pull back here just a very quick second to our main camera. So once the platform is stripped off, too bad Evanston's not here controlling. They trusted me to press the buttons, and I'm not as good at it as I would like to be. So that 10-minute timer will start once the platform is prepared. So I would say we're probably about 12 minutes out from deadlift's beginning. And as a good friend of mine likes to say, the meat doesn't start until the bar hits the floor. So I will see you all here in about 10 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second annual United Ladies of Iron, hosted here in Evanston, Wyoming by 307 Strength. Our final sponsor, as we're preparing for our lifts, our final deadlifts for the day, is La Choza. La Choza offers American and Mexican food with different specials throughout the week. Opened in 2022, this restaurant is family run and operated just a couple doors down from our venue here today. La Choza also provided lunch for our volunteers today. So thank you to La Choza for the delicious food that I have not eaten. I promise it's not a reflection on you. Moving on to the important thing. Bear with me just one moment here, audience. All right, so our referee's job is to watch the meet, not the live stream. So give a quick word to our left side judge and asked her to move so all of you fine folks watching at home can enjoy the action in its full glory. First up, we have Celia Williams. She's opening with a deadlift of 55 kilos. Now, you may notice those plates look a teensy bit smaller than standard plates. She will actually be pulling a greater distance from the floor than the other lifters in this meet because those plates that she's using are smaller in diameter. Now, there was a very esoteric rules discussion prior to starting our deadlift today because we loaded up rubber bumper plates to give her the standard height. And that's a good lift. 3 white lights. So no issue pulling from that additional distance for her. So Celia's been training with barbells since January 2023. She is one of the 307 strength lifters, one of Maggie Jones's lifters. So, as I mentioned, there was a very esoteric rules discussion prior to the beginning of the meet. Now, you'll notice that they are loading the same color plates, but bumper plates with a larger diameter for Carrera Erickson. Now, this is an interesting quirk to the rules of powerlifting, of USA powerlifting specifically. So, because of the class, the competition class that Celia was in, she had to use the steel plates, whereas Carrera is in the youth class, and she not only gets a weight jump exception, so she can compete in half kilo increments, but she also gets the benefit of those bumper plates to pull from standard height. So 65 kilo opener for her. That was a smoke show of an opener. Absolutely crushed it. Moving on to our other youth lifter, we have Camilla, who also wanted to give a shout out to her Aunt Maria. This is her second annual, or excuse me, to her aunt who is watching her today. Clearly, the second dose of caffeine that I took for this has not kicked in yet. But as my good friend likes to say, the meet doesn't start until the bar hits the floor. And the bar has hit the floor, and here we are, the second annual United Ladies of Iron here in Evanston, Wyoming, watching these strong, powerful women deadlift. So Camilla's opening with 65 kilos. She's got those steel plates on the bar, the blue 20 kilo plates. The bar, of course, is 20 kilos, plus the clips are 5 kilos for the both of them. So 40 plus 25, 65 kilos. Yes, I can do math. Patricia Cooper's opening with 67.5 kilos. It's important to note that Camilla's best deadlift is 70 kilos. I think we're gonna see a PR out of her on that lift as well, and she might just come out of here PRing all 3 lifts. Personal bests in all 3 lifts. Patricia Cooper, 67.5 kilos. Again, this is her first ever USA powerlifting meet. Now, the rules of performance for the deadlift, for those of you who are wondering, are a lot simpler than the squat and particularly the bench. So there's one command in the deadlift, and that is down. So the chief referee holds her hand up in this case until the lifter has fully completed the lift. So there is no start command. The lifter walks out onto the platform. They can adjust their belt once they step onto the platform. For those who are paying attention in the earlier part of the live stream, that is the only piece of equipment you can adjust on the platform. The lifter addresses the bar and picks up the bar, locking the knees and hips with the shoulders back. So there are 2 different stances you can take, 2 different primary stances, I should say. That was a sumo stance. Sumo stance being defined as having the hands inside the legs as opposed to outside the legs during the course of the lift. So the lifter addresses the bar, picks up the weight, and stands upright and erect with it, at which point the chief referee gives the audible down command alongside a downward movement of their arm, at which point the lifter places the bar down under control back on the platform. Now, some of the reasons you might not get a lift, quote unquote. So some of the reasons you may have an infraction or an improper lift in the squat. Should probably try not to mute the mic when I start talking. And we have a little bit of a technical issue here. But moving back to the performance rules of the deadlift. So, reason for the infraction of the deadlift. One of I would argue, the most common is simply not being able to stand up straight with it. So, Tara Seneschal here, opening with 100 kilos on the bar. She is our push-pull athlete today. She is only benching and deadlifting. So, she is taking a mixed grip, one hand over, one hand under, and that is a conventional stance. A conventional stance meaning that the hands and arms are outside of the legs. So she is also lifting with a little bit more equipment than some other folks do. She is using her knee sleeves while she pulls. So you can take any grip provided it is not completely supinated, i.e. palms facing forward. And you can take any stance so long as you stand upright with the bar completely at the top of the movement. So, fun trivia. I don't feel like I hear anyone ever talking about this on live streams. So, what they're using to lift that bar up is called a bar jack. Makes it a lot easier. But as you can see, the spotters and loaders are actually at one of their most difficult times of the day here. So, they don't have to spot this weight, but they still have to load at a very low area. And the deadlift, most of the time, hey, let's get a little more cowbell. More cowbell. I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell. Kristen Atkinson, 107.5 opener. That is just shy of her personal record with rocking those American flag socks. Love that. 3 white lights. She is representing the United States today. So the spotters and loaders are actually at the most difficult part of their day because the deadlift is most often the heaviest of the lifts. And so they are moving more weight during the course of the deadlift than they are in the first 2 lifts. So the spotters are nearing their halfway point, if you will, in the weight that they're lifting today. So Ashley Klein, lifting for about a year and a half. Her first meet was last year's Ladies of Iron. She is our assistant coach here at 307 Strength, one of the sponsors of today's meet. She has a sumo stance with a mixed grip, up and down, 3 white lights, excellent lift. Don't expect to see a whole lot of failures on the openers on the deadlift. The only reason you might see that is one, a poor choice in attempts, or two, a lifter has expended all the energy that they have on the squat and on the bench. But that I do not think will be the case with any of our strong ladies here today. So Reagan Smith loading up to 135 kilos. That's 297 pounds. We're just about to break that 300-pound barrier on our openers. So Reagan's personal best on the deadlift is 142. So she is very, very close. And remember, Reagan is our lifter who had that extreme car accident, and she's just recovering from that. So, ooh, that looked good. Well done. 3 white lights for Reagan. She's had to work twice as hard to get her numbers back and further than they were, and she's blessed to have made a full recovery. She holds 14 state records, and she'll be competing in regionals in June. And I think she'll be putting on a very strong performance after seeing her lift today. So Celia Williams, we're already on to our second attempts in the deadlift. So as I mentioned, Celia Williams is not in any of the competitive classes that is allowed to take a bumper plate as opposed to a steel plate. And so Celia has to pull from the floor slightly further than all of our other lifters today because she is using the 15 kilo plate, which has a smaller diameter than our 20 and 25 kilo plates. So 20 and 25 being the blues and the reds, respectively. So Celia Williams, she knew what she was getting into coming into this, though. She knew she was going to have to pull a little further, and she just absolutely crushes it. Absolutely crushing it. Just picks it up, puts it down. That's all she had to do. Celia Williams, she's been training with barbells since January 2023, kettlebells since June 2022, and last year was her first ever powerlifting meet. Last year's first annual Ladies of Iron. Loading up the bar for Carrera Erickson, 70 kilos on the bar. She's been lifting since she was 7 years old. So she's been lifting for a few years now. She couldn't compete until she was 8. That is the minimum age, the lowest age you can be to compete in USA powerlifting. So she picks that up. Oh, super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Sets it back down, gets 3 white lights, and that's it. That's the game, folks. That's all you have to do with the deadlift. Pick it up, put it down, and get the lights. Gotta love that oversimplification. The atmosphere is absolutely electric here. The deadlift is always the most exciting of the lifts. It's the heaviest. It's the most primal of the lifts. And I gotta say, today has been a full day of wholesome hoisting. It has been a phenomenal time here at the second annual United Ladies of Iron. I feel extremely fortunate to have been asked to talk to you all while this is going on. As I mentioned, I am actually the only involved male volunteer. Well, I thought I was the only male volunteer. There are only 3 of us, believe it or not. 3 male volunteers today. Almost the entire volunteer staff, the entire lifting crew, and all of the judges, announcers, referees, spotters, and loaders are all women. They are all ladies of iron. Patricia Cooper here, taking 72.5 kilos on her second attempt. Her first ever powerlifting meet, and she is positively crushing it. Patricia Cooper, she's on track. She's on track for a 6 for 9 day. Excuse me. Yeah, a 6 for 9 day. She had a little bit of trouble with her opener on the bench, and she didn't quite get her third squat, and she didn't get that third bench, but she is having a phenomenal day. Phenomenal day for a first meet. Randy Mayer taking 80 kilos, which is really closing in on her personal best. No, I'm sorry. Randy Mayer, yeah, closing in on her personal best. 87.5 kilos for her personal best. This is her second meet. She's only been lifting for a year. 176 pounds moves like nothing. Oh, let's see if she takes another 10 kilo jump. We'll see. If she takes another 10 kilo jump, she'll have a 2.5 kilo PR. So I certainly hope she does. When she's not lifting, she's singing and playing the piano. And she's a gymnast. Almost out of middle school. All right. We have Tara, our push-pull athlete, deadlifting 242 pounds, 110 kilos. Nice big jump. Good solid jump between the first and the second. The deadlift is quite often the lift you see the largest jumps between openers, second attempts, and then even to third attempts. Now, something nice and interesting about the deadlift is typically you can adjust your opener up until about 3 minutes before lifting begins. So for our flight B lifters, they can change their openers all the way up to the bar is called loaded for the third to last lifter. However, in the deadlift, you can also change your final attempt twice, provided that the bar has not been called loaded, one, for you, and two, that it does not change the order of lifting so that you are lifting a lighter weight so that the bar is not stripped to a lighter weight. So you can increase that. You can change that lifting order all the way up until the bar is called loaded for you. Now, this is a way for, in high level competition, for folks to jockey for position. So occasionally, the difference between first and second place comes down to 2.5, 5, maybe even 10 or 7.5 kilos on a deadlift. And so giving that additional little jockey for position allows for much more intrigue, much more fine control for coaches and for athletes in the placing order towards the end of the competition. Ashley Klein taking 140 kilos on her second attempt, another 10 kilo jump. Ashley Klein's been lifting for about a year and a half. Her first meet was last year's Ladies of Iron. She is our assistant coach here, and her best deadlift is 145 kilos. So provided that this moves well, I think we might see a PR out of her today, a new personal best. And if I recall correctly, she has a sumo stance. So let's take a look. All right, the bar's loaded. The cowbells and the horns are going. And she picks it up and puts it down. Very solid lifting from Ashley Klein. You don't expect any less, of course, from an assistant coach at 307 barbell. Same weight for Reagan Smith, 140 kilos. They're going to tighten that up a little bit, though. Now, Reagan is a little bit closer to her personal best. Her personal best is 142 or 315 pounds. So she is just off of her personal best. And again, coming off of a horrific car accident, only able to lift since the beginning of this year. So let's see what she can do. Oh, nice. That was a very good second attempt. The knees looked a little bit soft to me, but I'm not a judge today. So I'm just absolutely flabbergasted by how well she's done today. All right, we are back to the top of the order with Celia Williams. She's taking 65 kilos. 65 kilos. So she has finally got full diameter plates on the bar. She's going to have the blue plates there. So she gets to lift from regulation height for the first time. Oh, we've got All right, let's take a look at our other. All right, bars loaded for Celia. Oh, and we've got. Oh, we can see. And she picks it up, puts it down. Oh, 3 white lights. What a day for Celia. Goodness gracious. So that last lift puts Celia at an 8 for 9 day. That's 8 out of 9 successful attempts. She only missed one. She missed her third bench. Excellent day for her. Excellent day for her. Loading the bar up to 75 kilos for Carrera Erickson. Another nice little esoteric fact about USA powerlifting. So for third attempt deadlifts, and only for third attempts, the bar must be cleaned completely between every lift. So all the chalk has to be brushed away and the bar wiped down so that each lifter gets presented with a perfectly clean, pristine bar. All right, Carrera Erickson, 75 kilos, goes up, comes down. 3 white lights for Carrera. She's been lifting since she was 7 years old. Not competing since she was 7, but lifting since she was 7, competing since 8 years old. Phenomenal performance from her as well today. So Carrera Erickson is 9 for 9 today. That's 9 of 9 total attempts success. That is a perfect day. Patricia Cooper here, 77.5 kilos. Again, this is her first powerlifting meet. She's taking that traditional deadlift stance. And that's an easy third right there. I think she might have left a little bit in the tank there. Well done, well done. All right, Camilla. Taking 80 kilos, which would be a 10 kilo PR. Shout out to her Aunt Maria, who's watching her today. She's been lifting for just over a year. Last year's Ladies of Iron was her first ever powerlifting meet. She is probably today's fashion winner with the Wonder Woman singlet and socks. Bar is loaded for Camilla. Anna Camilla Little, our youth lifter. She's got the flags waving out of her socks, the little capes. Goodness gracious. All right, let's see. What can she do? Can she get this 10 kilo PR? Oh, it's electric here. You can hear all the cowbells. Oh, the crowd is. Oh no, that's a no lift. I'm afraid she supported the bar on her thighs. That is a blue card. So we call that hitching or ramping. But that's okay. She had control of the weight. She supported it on her thighs during the course of locking it out. Randy Mayer taking 87.5 kilos for her final attempt, 192 pounds. She's been lifting for a year. This is her second meet. She's almost out of middle school, and her job is to bug her mom. Her personal best is 87.5 kilos. She's going to be tying her personal best with this pull. I don't know if you on the live stream, you can hear all the noise going on in the crowd. The crowd is absolutely electric. They've got horns. They've got cowbells. It is absolutely insane out there. In case you missed it, that was a good lift for Randy. So Randy Mayer also having a perfect 9 for 9 day in our raw teen 67.5 weight class. All right, our push-pull lifter taking her final deadlift attempt. She had a little trouble getting started on the bench, but she has absolutely crushed it in the deadlift today. 112.5 kilos. That's just shy of 250 pounds on the bar. This will tie her personal best. And she gets it. At least I think so. What did the judges say? The judges say yes, 2 of them at least, and that's all you need. All right, Kristen Atkinson adding a little bit of weight to the bar here. 115 kilos for her third attempt. Kristen Atkinson. This is going to be a 5 kilo PR for her. So she's already broken her personal best with her second. 112.5 was a 2.5 kilo personal best for her. She's trying to break that again, another 2.5 kilos for a total of a 5 kilo personal best on her deadlift today. She's been lifting for just 5 months. This is her second meet. She's an 8th grade U.S. history teacher, and she loves to hike and lift with her son Christoph. She climbed the Manitou Incline last summer. Let's see if she can climb to the top of the deadlift here. £315. All right, we had a little issue with the music there, but we are back. All right, bars loaded for Kristen. Oh, we've got the music pumping now. All right. And she stands up, puts it down. That's 3 white lights. Excellent day for Kristen as well. Kristen Atkinson has an 8 for 9 day. She just missed one bench press. 8 for 9 day. Excellent work to her, and congratulations on your personal bests. Reagan Smith loading up 142.5 kilos. That's 315 pounds. Well, just under 315 pounds. She is matching her all-time personal best on the deadlift. Only a few weeks to prep since her car accident and her recovery, and she is already back to her deadlift personal best. Let's see if she can lock this out. Lock it in. That would make an 8 for 9 day for her. Let's see what she can do. Let's go, Reagan. That's a fight if I've ever seen one, and she locks it out. What do the judges say? 3 white lights. That's a tie for her personal best and an 8 for 9 day for Reagan Smith. Well done, Reagan. Welcome back. Welcome back. Ashley Klein with 150 kilos on the bar. Ashley is our final female lifter in Flight A. There's still an entire flight to come, so don't go anywhere. 150 kilos on the bar. That's 330 pounds, which is probably more than you can deadlift. All right, Ashley. This is going to be a 5 kilo PR for Ashley. Our assistant coach here at 307 Strength. Let's go, Ashley. That's a pull right there. She fights it up. Oh, get those knees locked. Oh, let's see what the judges say. 3 white lights. Great job, Ashley. Now, Ashley, goodness gracious. Ashley's had quite the day. She went 8 for 9 as well. All right, we're on to our Flight B lifters. So the announcer just told us that Ashley just qualified for nationals. Congratulations, Ashley. All right, bars being loaded up. 65 kilos for Brittany Elliott. Now, Brittany's best is 67.5, so she's very, very close to her personal best. This is her first powerlifting meet as well. A lot of very new lifters to USA Powerlifting. Again, to all of you, and hopefully you watch this back later, welcome to the best sport in the world. I promise I'm not biased at all. 65 kilos, up and down, 3 white lights. That's how you open. Congratulations to her. She is fully in the meet. She will score a total for today. And what I mean by that is, so in order to score in a powerlifting meet, in order to score a total, as we call it, you must have a successful attempt in each of the 3 disciplines. So I mentioned earlier, quote, bombing out, end quote, meaning if you miss all 3 attempts in any one of the disciplines, you do not score a total. And so powerlifting, yes, it is a game of impressive single lifts, but more so than that, powerlifting is a strategic attempt to score the best total that you can. So building a total, sometimes we call it. And that's exactly what these ladies are doing with their openers. They are building their totals. Everything after your first lift, everything after you're in the meet is just gravy on top. That's 3 white lights. She will move on as well. Bars being loaded up to 90 kilos for Alexis. So that was 87.5 kilos, 3 white lights for Shay Holmes, loading up to 90 for Alexis. Alexis and Jessica Carpenter will take the same weight, 90 kilos, 198 pounds. Also, my personal body weight competition class. Alexis has been lifting for 5 years. She's a hairdresser, as you can tell from her phenomenal job with those tresses today. Her best deadlift is 106 kilos. So I think we might actually see a personal best out of her as well. All right. See what she did there. So she got set up. She started to pull. She didn't give it a bona fide attempt, but she started and she said, no. I want to make sure I'm in the exact right position. And that's exactly what she did. So lifters, once the bar is loaded, they have 1 full minute to complete the lift. Or in the case of the squat and the bench press, to get the start command. So Jessica Carpenter here, she took a step. So Jessica Carpenter, 90 kilos, definitely had control of the weight, but she took a little step there. And that step, unfortunately, is not legal. You can't step before you get the down command. So she'll come back. She may take a jump. Let's see. Let's take a look at lifting cast and see if she's put in a jump from that. Jessica Carpenter hasn't put in her. Oh, yep, she is. So she's taking a 5 kilo jump from that. She knows she's got control of that weight. So she's going to come back. She's going to keep her feet in place. She's going to pull 95 kilos for her second attempt. Speaking of 95 kilos, Frankie Mayer taking 95 for her opener. Frankie's dabbled in lifting for about 2 years. This is her second meet. Her job, as she says, is to embarrass her children and also play violin and clog. So she is a strong first kettlebell instructor since 2022. And she has fantastic striped socks. And I must say, she also has excellent deadlift technique. She gets 3 white lights from the judges for that. She is in the meet. So far, we only have 1 miss in our openers, and I really don't think that was any meaningful of a miss. She'll come back and get that in her second. Ayla Rhodes being loaded up, 115 kilos. Ayla Rhodes' best deadlift is 136 kilos. So she's thinking she might set some records today. We'll see. She's a cosmetologist. 253 pounds on the bar for Ayla Rhodes. Now, as I mentioned earlier, so we had our lifter, Alexis. She reset. She took the time that she needed because you do have time. You have a full minute. Ooh, she's opening a little heavy, Ayla is. She struggled with that one a little bit, but she still got 3 white lights, so she's in the meet. That was good. That could have been jitters, could have been nerves. Like I said, so taking your time is key. So powerlifting, believe it or not, is a lot about strategy. And part of that strategy is keeping your head, your wits about you as you're moving through the competition, particularly here at the end of the competition when you're tired. You've been lifting for a long time. Now, today's meet, we started lifting at 10 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock now. This is a incredibly short day. Now, that can be a good thing or a bad thing. So typically meets last a little bit longer. You have a couple more flights. And so lifters have a little bit more downtime before they need to warm up for their next lift. Now, lifters, they have probably 10, 15 minutes or so after they finish lifting. And then it's time for them to start warming up for their next attempts because we only have 2 flights. So Hannah Salisbury took 127.5 kilos for a ride there, 3 white lights. Hannah Salisbury's been lifting for 2 years. She's an online bookkeeper, and she lists her greatest accomplishment as raising a good child. It's her first ever powerlifting meet. She might set some state records. And in fact, I believe, bear with me as I compare numbers here. Hannah Salisbury, 127.5, nice success there. Her personal best is 138, so she might be setting some PRs today. We'll see. Kimberly, stepping up to the bar. She's been lifting for about 3 years. This is her second meet, wearing that nice bright blue A7 singlet. She opted to keep her t-shirt on. So another little small quirk about the deadlift. So you are not required to wear a t-shirt under your singlet, only for the deadlift. So you have to wear long socks to protect your shins, more accurately to protect our bar from your blood. But that's beside the point. You are not required to wear a t-shirt under your singlet for that lift, and she has opted to wear one. Some people are more comfortable wearing a t-shirt, occasionally if it's a little bit cooler in the venue. But most lifters like to show off the more primal nature of this lift by not wearing a t-shirt. Anyway, we have our first 400-plus pound lift of the day with Nicole Miller. Nicole Miller is opening with 413 pounds on the deadlift. So her personal best is 197.5 kilos, just over 435 pounds. So this ought to be about a smoke show for Nicole, and indeed it is. At least make it look hard, Nicole. Well done. So all of our ladies, save one, are in the meet, 100% in the meet. And Jessica, I'll be honest, she's going to hit that second. There's going to be no issue whatsoever hitting that lift. The second time around, she took a jump. Speaking of second attempts, we have 72.5 kilos on the bar for Brittany Elliott. 159.8 pounds, basically 160 pounds if we're honest. 160 Liberty Llamas. Screaming Eagles of Freedom. So now that the total has been set for each of these ladies, now they're building it. Like I said earlier, the deadlift is usually, not always, but usually the heaviest lift. Now, if you've got a lifter like Ray Williams or something like that, who's squatting 1,000, he only pulls 800 pounds. But for most people, the humans among us at least, the deadlift is the heaviest of the lifts. And for all of these ladies here today, from what I can see, that is also the case. So Jessica, well, no, I'm wrong. Jessica Carpenter has out-squatted herself. Brittany Elliott gets 3 white lights on that lift. 72.5 kilos, flew up and down. So for the vast majority of our lifters here, the deadlift is the heaviest lift. And so this is the primary building block, the foundation, if you will, for their total. And so now that they've set their opener in place, they are finishing the construction of their total for the day. Alexis taking 95 kilos. That's a 5-kilo jump. Her best deadlift's 106. She's been lifting for 5 years. And if you recall last time, she was the lifter who very carefully took her time and reset when she didn't feel as though she was in the best position to pull the weight. Taking advantage of that minute that you have to complete the lift. Yep. She's got to find the right spot. That's just smart. Oh, and that was even faster than her opener. I have a feeling she's going to take a nice big jump for her third, excuse me. Jessica Carpenter took a 5-kilo jump. She's taking the same weight, 95 kilos. She's going to keep her feet still this time. She hasn't been lifting for very long. See what I mean? Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Just picks it up, puts it down, 3 white lights. That's all you got to do. She's going to take a big jump, I think. I'm expecting 10 kilos. But let's see. Let's pull up lifting cast and see what she put in. Jessica puts in. Oh, yeah. She took a 7.5. Pardon me. She took a 17.5 kilo jump for her third. A very big jump. So Jessica, if she pulls that 117 kilos, that's going to be a big PR for her. So Shay Holmes, 97.5 kilos on the bar. Her first powerlifting meet, 3 white lights. She knows what she's doing. So because there's not as many commands to listen to, I'll turn the audience noise on here a little bit. Because there's not as many commands, and because this is a more primal lift, the music usually cranks up, it gets harder, it gets heavier, and the crowd gets involved. Lots and lots of noise in order to get that adrenaline pumping in our lifters. Frankie Mayer, 105 kilos on the bar. This is just shy of her personal best. She's dabbled with lifting for a couple of years now. This is just her second meet. All that clogging translates to a good deadlift because that was 3 white lights. Ayla Rhodes taking 122.5 kilos. This is also her first powerlifting meet. She's a cosmetologist. £270 on the bar for Ayla Rhodes. We have a very efficient pit crew here. The unsung heroes of powerlifting, in my humble opinion, or not so humble opinion, is the spotter and loader pit crew. The absolute unsung heroes. They are the ones that make the meat flow well, and they protect our lifters. So she's pulling hard. Oh, she broke the floor, but she couldn't quite get past that. So that's a no lift for Ayla. She'll try that again for her third. Anna Salisbury taking 137.5 pounds, or excuse me, kilos. Ugh. 137.5 kilos. That's 300 pounds. Not to be confused. So Hannah's personal best is 138 kilos. So she is just 1 kilo under her personal best. So let's see how this moves. I have a feeling we're going to see a PR out of her today, a new personal record. She's also forecasted to take first place in her class in that women's raw open 67.5 kilo class. She's had an excellent day, Hannah. So Hannah Salisbury. She's an online bookkeeper. She's been lifting for a couple of years now. She stands up with it. No downward movement at all. A little bit of a hitch there, but not much. Yep, two white lights, and that's all you need. That's a good lift. So she'll come back. She'll take I have a feeling she'll take a personal best. Let's see. See if that populates here. What's she going to take on her third? So Ayla Rhodes taking 122.5 again for her third. Oh, Hannah Salisbury jumping, taking a nice 5-kilo jump to 142.5. That'll be a personal best for her. So we'll check back in when she gets onto the platform. Up now, right, though. Ugh. Up next, though, we have Kimberly with 155 kilos on the bar. That's 341 pounds. She's been lifting for about 3 years. This is her second meet. She drove all the way from Boulder to be here. 341, almost 342 pounds on the bar. And we're making sure that she is presented with the absolute best bar possible. So we have a slight misload on the bar. So spotters and loaders rely on what you might be able to see there on the screen next to the announcer. They rely on a diagram in order to load the bar up. And occasionally that diagram doesn't refresh in time, and so they can load the incorrect weight on there. We don't burden the spotters anymore with trying to understand precisely what the numbers are on the bar, particularly when most of our lifters here operate in Liberty Llamas outside of competition. However, we were able to square that away. We've got in this beautiful blue A7 singlet, adjusting her belt on the platform, the only piece of equipment you can adjust on the platform, Kimberly taking 155 kilos. What's she going to do with it? I think she's going to pick it up. She might even put it down, too. Oh, good golly, Miss Molly, I was right. 3 white lights picked it up and put it down. Nicole Miller taking 197.5 kilos. This ties her personal best. It's her first ever powerlifting meet. It's her first USA powerlifting meet. And she's pulling 435 pounds for her second attempt. This is not even her third attempt. Easily, far and away, the heaviest deadlift of the day. She is using all of our available red plates. 435 pounds on the bar for Nicole Miller in the 100-kilo women's raw open class. Running away with the heaviest deadlift of the day. Let's see what she does. The heaviest deadlift of the day so far. And again, I just not seeing her struggle at all. 3 white lights, picked it up, put it down, just toying with it. Inspiring. So Nicole Miller having a pretty good day. She's hit all of her deadlifts. Had a little bit of trouble with bench. She opened with 95 kilos and tried to get up 100 and 102.5. She took a jump despite missing her second. And she couldn't quite lock that out. But goodness gracious, she is absolutely crushing her deadlifts. Maybe she was saving it up. But anyway, we are into the most exciting part of the day. This is the third attempt for our Flight B in this Wyoming Ladies of Iron. These are the heaviest deadlifts you're going to see today. Brittany Elliott, 75 kilos. That is a massive PR for her. Goodness gracious. Congratulations to her on an absolutely phenomenal day. Brittany Elliott, 75 kilos, blowing away her personal best. Shay Holmes, 102.5 on the bar. Her first powerlifting meet. Now Shay is 2 for 3 on her deadlifts. Going for a 6 for 9 day. Come on, Shay. What do you say? She is aiming for second place in our best lifter category. And that's 3 white lights for her. Congratulations. Well done. So as I mentioned before, between every single attempt on third attempt deadlifts, the bar has to be completely cleaned to present the lifter with the most pristine possible surface to pull with. Taking a look at our side view here. Let's see if we can get him to roll it up a little higher. All right. Alexis, her third attempt, 105. So this is just 1 kilo shy of her personal best. Wanted to use this angle and show off those incredible locks. She's a hairdresser, so she should know. All right. She's also our most precise lifter, so she's resetting, making sure she's in the best position possible. Pulling with that conventional stance. And, oh my goodness gracious! That was even faster than her second. Oh, that's the way to do it. Leave a little bit in the tank. Congratulations to her on a wonderful day as well. So Alexis with a 6 for 9 day. All 3 of her deadlifts were successful, just shy of her personal best on the deadlift. What a day for her. What a day for her. Moving on to our next lifter, Jessica Carpenter. 112.5 kilos on the bar. Took a massive jump for her third. This will this will be just under her all-time personal best. She hasn't been lifting for very long. And, oh, she couldn't hold on to it. Well done. Well done. She hasn't been lifting for very long, and she's doing very, very well. Her first ever powerlifting meet. She's learning the ropes. She's doing a great job. She's an accountant on the side, loves to read, camp, and hike with her family. Your first meet's a time to learn, and I think Jessica learned a lot of lessons today. So I think we'll see her come back stronger than ever. Frankie Mayer stepping in with 115 kilos on the bar. This is going to be a 2.5 kilo PR for her if she can pull this. She's dabbled for a couple of years. This is her second meet. Her job, as she says, is to embarrass her children, but I don't think she's actually accomplishing that goal today. I think she's making her children and her ancestors proud. Oh my goodness, with a pull like that. Not embarrassing anyone. 3 white lights. 2.5 kilo PR for Frankie. Congratulations. Frankie Mayer with an 8 for 9 day. Only 1 red light lift today. Excellent, excellent job. PRs on 2 lifts. So we got Ayla Rhodes up next with 122 kilos on the bar. She's retaking her second attempt. Let's go, Ayla. 270 pounds on the bar. She had a little bit of trouble. She got it off the floor, but she couldn't quite get it above her knees or above her shins. So let's see. Get those hips in place. Yeah, her hips are a little closed. It doesn't look like she's going to be able to pull from that disadvantaged position. She'll work on that technique. She'll get back on the platform and absolutely smoke that weight next time. Hannah Salisbury coming up next with 142.5 kilos. This will be a PR for her. This will be a 5-ish kilo PR for her. So her best deadlift is 305 pounds. This is 314 pounds. Going for a nice personal best here. She's been lifting for 2 years. She's an online bookkeeper. And she thinks she might have a good chance of breaking some state records. But her goal, her major life accomplishment, according to her, is raising a good child. So mother of the year here, 142.5 kilos on the bar, going for a personal best. Let's go, Hannah. She pulls it. She locks it out. Let's see what the judges say. Might have been a little bit of it. She's got 2 white lights, so that's a successful lift. And it's completely silent out there. So that was a successful lift. Congratulations on your PR. All right, we're getting heavy. We have 2 deadlifts left today. 2 lifts left in the United Ladies of Iron 2nd annual Evanston competition here. A big thanks to 307 Strength for putting this on, and perhaps even larger thanks to the chiropractic office for allowing us to take this space and use it for half the day. Worth mentioning that the doc is on site, and he is doing chiropractic adjustments for all the lifters as a priority, but for anyone in attendance today. Kimberly taking 165 kilos. That's 363 pounds. This is her 2nd meet. Drove all the way from Boulder to be here. All right, so we are cleaning the platform, creating a nice, dry, even surface. Now, it's not terribly common, but it does happen that sometimes you're bracing so hard that you pee a little bit on the platform. That just means you're working hard enough. That means you've earned it. Kimberly, 165 kilos on the bar, all the way from Boulder, Colorado. Buckles her belt. She is locked in. She is ready. Come on, Kimberly, what do you say? Locking in. She's ready. Starts the pull. It's past her. Oh, my goodness. Only a little bit of a stick there. Let's see what the judges say. 3 white lights for Kimberly. Now, Kimberly had a nearly perfect day as well. 8 for 9 day. 165 kilo deadlift. Quite the feather in her cap. And now we have the final deadlift of the day. 205 kilos. That's 451 pounds. Practically 452 pounds. Nicole Miller just absolutely blowing past her personal best of 197. 435 pounds is her best deadlift. She's going for 451 pounds here. That's a 15-pound PR. Let's see if she can do this. All right, Nicole, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to pick it up and put it down. That's all you got to do. The bar is loaded for Nicole. The crowd's going wild. This is our last deadlift of the day. And it's up. It's almost past her knees. Congratulations to Nicole. What a pull. Congratulations to all of these ladies here today. It has been an absolute pleasure and honor to be here and be part of this meet. Thank you all so much for watching. And we will see you next time at the 3rd annual Wyoming United Ladies of Iron. Big thanks again to Impact Physical Therapy, Flex Fitness for hosting our warm-up space. Impact Physical Therapy was our venue today, and the doctor is in. La Choza for providing lunch for our volunteers just a couple doors down from our venue. Thank you again to them. 307 Strength Youth Barbell Club. 307 strength. Several lifters here in the meet today, and a coach. Hi, Winter Athletics Association. Thank you for sponsoring today's meet. 7K Fit Performance Elevated. Thank you for sponsoring today's meet. And Evan Tech for providing our live stream technology and supporting powerlifting in Evanston. Thank you all. Congratulations to these ladies.